Ford 9-inch axle swapped into this Jeep, which is a 1989 YJ. Excuse me. Something to throw again. The toggles are crazy. Anyway, the issue is really, and I'll talk probably a little bit more about it later, is that I'm doing this by myself. I don't have a proper place to do it, like a garage. And yeah, this is, I guess we're gonna put this on Cactus Ron's garage, which is ironic because I don't have a garage. Basically, I kind of have to do this whole operation out on the street, little street that's next to my house, with jack stands and floor jacks and whatnot, which is fine, but there's some heavy lifting involved. I think I figured out how to do this without having to deal with, destroying my back or whatnot. It's just about leverage. Anyway, like I said, we'll probably cover that a little later. But anyway, the first thing is, going across some railroad tracks here. I gotta get these dogs ran before I do anything. Because when I'm out there messing with the Jeep, there's Xena. Hi, Xena. Say that. Yeah, hi, Xena. And there's Marvin. There's Marvin. Say hi, Marvin. Oh, light screen. People are gonna honk at me. Because they love this Jeep. This is their favorite thing to do. Go out in the Jeep, get out in the desert, usually the ranch. Sometimes just the doggo hill if there's not crazies around. And just run around and be dogs. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do this thing. I've got to do it. I'm going to try to do it in just a couple of days. We'll see how that works out. Because I don't want this Jeep to be down for long. Because obviously I like driving it too. I need to get this done because I had put 35-inch tires on here, and I kind of go back and forth on this, whether I like them, whether I don't. I'm kind of leaning towards not. I'll probably put my little 31s back on here. One thing, everything about the Jeep runs better. I've got better power to the ground, more horsepower to the ground. It's a little bit lower, so dogs don't have as trouble getting in. My wife doesn't have as much trouble getting in. The steering is better. Everything is just better on the smaller tires. So I think instead of going to 35, I might take a half step and go to 33. But anyway, you don't care about that. And this is quickly turning into a video of you just watching me talk about stupid shit. So let's move on. And you know what? Since you're watching this far and you're saying, wait, this is about a Ford 9-inch swap, I don't want to see what's going on, and you don't want to watch some dude talking about stupid shit. So let's roll a little bit of montage, I guess. Do a previously on and show you how I got here. The little bits of previous videos of me harvesting this axle from the ranch and some of the processes involved, and then we'll come back and we'll take it from there. So, roll tape, as they say. BFH. Go get a ratchet. Here, dusty trails, we don't do things the right way. We do them the dusty trails way, which is not the right way, basically. Okay, here we go. So, putting the screwdriver in the back up against the axle flange there. Give her a love tap, or maybe 5. That came out a little harder than last time. That's weird. Yeah, it comes out. There it is. That axle. Okay. And there it is. Oh, well, all right then. So, major accomplishment today. We have won this battle. It is loose. And I'm going to turn it that way. Isn't that lovely? My 9-inch axle is loose at last. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Look at that. Hey, what's this? What's this? What's it? Parts and parts. Look at that. Pieces and parts. I'm sure that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be, right? What do we got over here? Oh, okay. Not too shabby. Wow. Okay. So, yeah. Apparently, I'm going to have my work cut out for me. You call that a before shot. Try to clean it up. There we go. That's the good stuff right there. There is the patient. Degreased. Yeah, sort of. Kind of. Gonna pull it into the shop. See if I can start tearing it down. Alright, first let's get these little guys out of here. This is sitting on my vise. I only have one vise. And it's not drinking beer. Ah, if I can get that thing off of there. Got it. Okay. Well, I think maybe probably a good idea to get some of this debris out of here. Let's see, what do we got here? Looks suspiciously like a race and a cage. That's not going to come out very easily, is it? Well, let's see if I can rotate it. Yeah, I'm going to have to get those end caps in order to get all of this mess out. There's one. There's another. There's that one. And there's that one. Oh my God. Well, I took out the carrier. Needed both hands and didn't have my tripod set up. So now I'm kind of looking at things.
And I'll show you the carrier in a minute. Actually, I don't think the case suffered any permanent damage. I'm going to look into it a little bit more detail later. But let me show you here. So there's the side that self-destructed. And I would say from lack of oil in it, because that's the side where, if you remember, I pulled out a dry axle shaft. Oh, this thing's kind of heavy. And there's that side that kind of moves. And I think there's some little boogers in there. It doesn't matter. All of this is going away. That entire carrier, or yeah, the whole carrier, ring and pinion, all the bearings, they're all going away. I'm going to put new stuff in it. Here is what's left of the bearing in the inner race. Here's the outer race. So everything kind of set up there. I am suspecting that way down in there somewhere, I may find what's left of the actual bearings. However, I also have a suspicion that they may have ended up in the axle tube itself, because I haven't been out to the ranch since I pulled this apart, and I haven't actually worked on the tube or the axle assembly since then. But we shall see. So stay tuned as the Ford 9-inch axle drama continues. First thing is I got to get it off of this contraption. Here's the bearing. Came off all right. I could not tap it out without destroying this because of the way it was wedged in there. It was not exactly right. But it was this little ear here. I don't know. It was giving me some resistance. But once I popped it loose and then turned it over, I was able to just knock it right off. And then I turned it back over. Excuse me, I got something in my throat for some reason. So, first thing, turn it over, get the bolts off. Okay, well, there goes the pinion. That's just my opinion. Moving on to other stuff real quick. Well, there's the old ring and pinion. Here's the piece that went right there, it busted off. It fell off when Chris and I brought the whole axle shaft that was still stuck in the tube. And as you can see, that's a crush sleeve, which we are not going to use. We're going to use the little shims. Anyway, so those are trash. If anybody wants them, I mean, that's probably a pretty good ring and pinion gear. I have no need for them. The actual carrier is obviously junked, but if anybody wants that ring and pinion gear, it's I think it was a $398. just go ahead and send me a message and I will actually give them to you. Just I ask you to pay for shipping, whatever that may be, but I'll just send you what you see right here. I'll package it all up and ship it out. You can do what you want with the carrier, I don't care. But if I don't get any responses, I'll just throw them in the trash because I got no use for them. All right, so I got bearing and seal. Doesn't look too bad, but doesn't matter. I'm replacing it, so it's going in the trash. Oil slinger. What's left of the seal. It's not too bad, but junk, of course. Inside clean a little bit. Start putting the races in. I should probably actually get down my bearing and race driver to do this. There we go. Nice and easy. Don't have to resort to violence. I guess if I got the right tool for the job, I should use it. Okay, that's bottomed out. That's good. Let me get the other one in now. The other side in. It's one of the things I like about 4 9-inches is you just go ahead and put the races in. Don't even worry about it. So easy. I like it that way. I'm all about easy. Got the seat in. Got the got the races in. Pretty good. They are seated perfect all the way around. So now, pinion carrier is ready for the new pinion and whatnot. But now I got to put bearings on that thing, so I guess I better do that. There it is. It's bottomed out. All right. There it is. Basically ready for installation and setup. Oh, I'm sorry. That AC is probably real loud, huh? Okay. All right. So I grabbed the old crush sleeve. Get a base reading what I might need for the shim. That's looking about 0.435. 0.435. Yeah, that sounds good. I better write that down. But what these are what's to replace the crush washer. So basically you have these 2 pieces and have a bunch of shims in there, and they come with a whole ton of them. So what I did was I got it as close as 0.4435 as I could. So it's within about 5 thousandths or so. It's a little on the heavy side, which I would rather start a little bit heavy and then work my way back. So that is going to be our starting point. So I'll get that set in there and then do the whole thing. And I like these better because you don't have to worry about the crush sleeve, and you can go ahead and torque the flange down on there. And if you need to replace it later, say to replace the seal up here or something, you just go ahead and torque it right back down to where it was, and you don't have to worry about, oh, now I got to do the setup all over again. These are way better, trust me on that. So this is my aggressive limited slip that's going into that thing instead of that thing. So stay tuned. Coffee can full, or not full, but
No, I need specifically the iron, like, filings.
My brother had asked if that was the same horseshoe there.
Nothing to it. Nothing to it.
Especially in comparison to the other one.
Yeah, well that's because the heaviest part
It's not even attached.
is over there in my house.
Anything else we need to throw in here?
We'll grab these. I don't know why, because I'm going with disc brakes on it.
As long as it's this
I had debated with myself whether I would or not.
What do you do? Let's do it.
I'm gonna put disc brakes on the axle. We're home and we got an axle. You can probably back up in there
Or just do this?
and then follow us in.
Oh, okay, that's so fun.
He's happy to be home.
With the air conditioning and fresh cold water.
Right there. We're going just like that. Cool. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so basically it's ready. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that thing there or get a different one. I haven't decided yet, but there we go. I have to do that with two hands. I went ahead and put a Detroit locker in there instead of that limited slip, which is for sale as of when I recorded this. It may be sold by the time it airs, I don't know. Anyway, a good friend of mine kind of talked me into it. Well, I was on the fence anyway. It wasn't really sure if I wanted to go limited slip because this is going to be much beefier with the 31 spline axles and so forth. So I went ahead and ordered an actual locker. Actually, the first one that came in was bad. I had to send it back, but Quick Performance was real good to me. Sent me the new one like it was here the next day. So put that back in. You don't need to see the process. I'm not here to teach you. This is just a documentation of what I'm doing. And we are basically ready to put that back in the tube. Here, let me pause and take you out there real quick. So here's the tube. Got all the stuff off of it. Still need to do some cleaning, as you can see. But it is basically stripped. This is the orientation with, that being the front, of course. There's that. I've got a brand new disc brake conversion that I'm going to put on there. So these things I'm going to keep on here, the little clips for the old brake line, because I got brand new brake lines, so I'm just going to build those from scratch. And then I'll put tabs, I'll figure out probably over here somewhere to go into the calipers and so forth. So next up will be basically assembling this into the Jeep after that's not the next step. Next step is actually getting the old one out. And I'm going to have to re-drill. These aren't my leaf springs. I mean, they are mine, but they're the old ones. What I'm going to have to do in the ones that are in the Jeep right now is I'm going to have to drill out the hole for the center pin, because I'm going to put bigger center pins in there, a little bit beefier and so forth. And then I've got to figure out how I'm going to put the shocks, where I'm going to put the tabs. I took the tabs off of here. It's been dusty. Yeah, but I may reuse them depending on how I can configure them. Anyway, that's it for now. And, there's the old purchase. Let me see if I can get this going and BRB. Be right back.
We are back. And yes, this is a Ford 9-inch swap video. And no, we are not currently swapping a Ford 9-inch. Well, that's because I have to head out to the ranch for two reasons. First of all, I left a couple of U-bolt plates out there on the old truck bed, so I need to get those so I can proceed. And doggos need to run, and that's really the best place for them. There's too many weirdos out at the Doggo Hill these days, so I don't tend to go out there much anymore. Sometimes. Actually, today would probably be fine. This is like a Thursday, and there's not too many people out there doing stupid stuff. So it'll probably be okay. But that's not the point. The point is, I gotta go get this part and start the process. Basically, what's gonna happen is I gotta park the Jeep. Well, I'm going to say in the street, but you'll see when we get there that there's been a lot of construction lately, and the pavement on that side of my house has been covered in layers of dirt. So it's basically a dirt road. In the front of my house, it is a dirt road. They've dug it up 20, 30 times, and I'm not exaggerating. Replacing pipes, and then, replacing pipes, and then replacing the pipes that they just replaced, because now they have to replace pipes. It's just been going on, and I won't go on and on, but you get the point. So anyway, first part of this is going to be just me going out to the ranch real quick. I might mess with the gate a little bit. I might mess with the little tractor a little bit since I'm out there. But here's the thing, I can't spend too much time out there because I've got basically 4 days to do this, and I'm doing it by myself. Old guys like me rely on leverage to do heavy work like this. So here's the plan. Park it in the street, because I don't have a slab, I don't have a garage. It'd be nice. My birthday's coming up. Hint, hint. Just a slab would be nice, but anyway, a garage would be, well, sometimes you gotta let your dreams go, Anyway, I digress. Oh, check out this truck that's coming. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Anyway, just never mind. Park it out there, and then start the process, which basically means, I'm going to oversimplify it. Remove the Dana 35, install tube only of the 9-inch. After I clean it, I'm going to have to clean it up first. And then partially assemble it. Well, not really. I'm really going to have to completely assemble the 9-inch while it's under the Jeep. Basically a mock-up. I got to mock it up how it's going to look, put the tires on it, set it down on the ground so it's at right height, and then get my angle all set up so it points at my transfer case correctly. I've got the double cardan drive shaft coming off of the transfer case, which that involves a bunch of other stuff, like I've got spacers on the transfer case to lower it to match up, so those got to come away. So a bunch of little things are going to have to happen. But essentially, I get the Dana off, I put the Ford axle on here, and do all the little things it takes to mock it up, so I know where the spring perches are going to be. where the shocks are going to land, where I'm going to have to run all the brake stuff and all of that stuff. And then disassemble the whole thing with basically just the purchase on there and locations of the tabs for shocks. And then I'll bring my little flux core welder out and basically just spot a couple of welds up there where everything's going to go. And disassemble the whole thing, take it out, take it to the bench, and do the final welds where everything's supposed to go, and then do the whole process over again. Take the tube out, put it under the Jeep, reassemble it, but this time it'll be the final assembly, and then it'll be done. And I'll have the 4.9 inch under the Jeep, and I can go wheeling. Sounds simple, right? One guy. No lift, no garage, just a little bit of jack stands, and hopefully some leverage. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's see if I can get it done in 4 days. Today's probably going to be a weird day because of all this other stuff I have to do. But anyway, I talk too much and I apologize for that, but it's my video. I can talk if I want to. Alright, so once I get up to the ranch, I'll document a little bit of that, and then we'll start the process. So, BRB.
Okay, so I'm out here. Just really gotta get that one. And that's that 8 1/4 that I need to, I don't know what I'm gonna do with. There's some U-bolts that I'm not going to use because I got new ones. I just needed those guys. Take another look at what's left here. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do this. I'm going to put that 35 in here, the 8 1/4, or if I'm going to do something else. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, dogs barking, neighbors. All right, BRB. There's Zena. There's Marvin. And this is the little gate project I've been working on, trying to close up this big old hole that we have in the property, the ranch. So, idea is to basically mount that existing gate on that pole that we built up. That's another old gate that I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Probably just leave it there. And then finish this thing up. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm not going to really document it, or I'll get some way into it, and then we'll proceed from there. BRB. Yeah, so basically something like that. I need to put a post there. I need to secure that one. So there's basically 2 gates back to back. There needs to be another post there. I need to either drive one or sink that one. Either way, I gotta close that gap right there. And anyway, this has got nothing to do with 4.9 inch, so let's get back to that. BRB. So the way I'm gonna start this thing is, first I am going to take off the wheels, open up the brakes, and disconnect the e-brake, the parking brake cable from inside there, because I can use it on the 9 inch, which is laying over there, ready to go in. So I'm not gonna bore you with all of it. Maybe I'll show you some detail, but moving on, because there's a lot of stuff. So it's a big list. Okay, basically I just disconnected the e-cable from inside. Release that, and now it's sitting there waiting for the new axle. Alright, pretty easy. Put it back together and then start on the rest of it. By the numbers, I guess, as they say. So the next thing to do is to raise the transfer case. It's had that lowering shim on it since I got the original lift kit, and that needs to come off because I will be adjusting the pinion angle when I put the 9-inch on there. So let me do that real quick. And as you can see, got that done. All I did was just lift it up slightly, pull the old ones out, pulled the old long bolts out. There's the little spacers, and now it's at stock height again. Take this out. There we go. And then as you can see back there, that pinion angle suddenly got way more severe. But we don't care because that's the Dana 35 and it's going away. Alright, BRB. Alright, so now, trying to get these guys off. And yes, that's an Adams drive shaft. It's tiny, but you know, what the heck. Oh, it's hard to do this one-handed. Should probably get a socket and do this. Because I'm just going to round that thing off. Yeah, it feels pretty tight. Okay, let me do that and get a tripod. Let's see if that works. I don't know. A weird little mount that I have. Okay, come on. Nice and easy. There you go. These feel a little bit bound up, like maybe I beat the hell out of them going over rocks or something. That can't be right. I don't think I've ever seen rocks in this thing. I could be lying too. The other side. So I made a list of what I needed to do, because I'm weird like that. I don't really think I need the list. I can see what I need to do. Just kind of, unbolt everything. Roll this thing out. Bring the other one in. It's not rocket science. At least I don't think so. Maybe it is. Some dude turning around. Wow, that's an old 90s car over there. Guess that's not that old. Okay. That one. Grab this one. Now this thing's not turning, even though I've got the transfer case in neutral. The e-brakes are already disconnected. But it's still connected to the rear end. But it won't be in like 3 seconds. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. I need to go get some tape put around those. BRB. Okay. Tape in hand. Okay. because the last thing I want is for those needle bearings to come flying out. That would make me sad. Yeah, but that's turning real good. Transfer case feels healthy. Very good. Okay. What is next? Okay. So I need to get, let's see. All right, let me move you around here so you can see what I'm doing from that side there. Okay. This thing felt a little loose. It is loose. Well, you know, it's been a while since I went through and tightened everything, so that's not surprising, I guess. I'm so good at maintenance. Now these perches, these shock mounts right here, I'm going to steal these off of this and put them on the 9-inch. I have some little perches, but I don't like the way they look. I'll just use these over again. What's wrong with that? Okay, where's that one? I really need to get some new shocks. I'm gonna kick that can down the road. And it looks like these might actually be okay. Giving me some resistance here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, shock's not bad. What's wrong with that? That out of the way, except for that nice little divot I just found. Alright, and now I've got to get these guys off. And I won't necessarily show you the other side because it's the same as this side. You get the idea though. Now I'm doing all this while it's still sitting on the ground on its own weight. It's not jacked up at all. I won't do that part until I'm absolutely ready to drop this shackle over here and roll out the old axle. Oh, this is tedious. I think I'm gonna get a little impact to do that. See, will it even fit? It won't even fit. That's funny. Let's see, I think I have. What else do I have? Well, I've got an actual ratchet. That might give me more leverage. Let's try this regular sized socket first. Hope it doesn't like bind it up. It probably will. We'll see how that's gonna work. That's definitely not gonna do it. All right. We're close enough to the road that you can hear everything that goes by. Dang. I think maybe I should put some lube on. Oh, these are those kinds of nuts too. A nylock. Guess using nylock's a good idea. It's not going to come off of there very easily. And you kind of don't want it coming off of there, especially when you're driving down the road. Or off-road, as it may be. Let's do it like this. Probably could put some lubricant on there. Would help. Let me do that. PB Blaster, not a sponsor. Be cool if they were, though. There. That's probably not going to help at all. That's all right. Man, things are tough, man. It is a little easier, though. It's got some go juice on it. When I get this Dana 35 out of here, I have to decide what to do with it. Do I offer it up to my viewers for the low price of come get it? Or do I put it in my nephew's Ford truck bed that I got the 9 out of, which I think is what I'm going to do. But that still leaves me with an extra axle, and that's that 8 1/4 that's sitting out there. Which I guess it can just sit out there. It ain't eating no hay. It'll be fine, I reckon. It's getting a little warm. That thing go down into the threads. Freaking nylocks, man. This will be the third time I've had this rear suspension apart. Third time? Yeah. I had it apart the first time to put some rough country 4-inch lift springs in here, which lasted a couple of months before they sagged all the way back down to stock height. I still have them laying around just to remind myself of the big mistake that I made. So then I bought, instead of an entire lift kit, I got just 4-inch springs from Rubicon Express. That was, oh my god, thinking 5 years ago? It couldn't be that long, maybe more like 3. Time flies, man. And they haven't squatted even a little bit. They're way heavier springs too. Hope I don't have to do this again though. I hate to have to put that 9-inch in here and then have to go through all of this again. That would not be fun. Of course, I'll probably cut out all of this dialogue or monologue, but whatever. There's no use in you guys sitting there watching me turn a bolt for a friggin' hour. That's probably just more of a note to self. Say, hey Ron, cut all of this stuff out. Anyway, there's the first bolt nut. Sheesh. Pain in the butt. That nut was a pain in the butt. Oh, I need the long ones. Let's see. I wonder if I could use this one again. Let's try it on here. I hate having to do this out in the street, literally. I know it probably doesn't look like it because of all the dirt, but this is actually pavement here. It's just got a thick veneer of dirt because we've got our other street torn up and it just tracks. It blows all the way into here. And it blows all right. Okay, this one's coming out a lot happier. Wrestle with that one at all. That's good news. Let's see how these are gonna treat me. Probably need to get those from the other side. Maybe not. I can do it like this. Hear it loosening. Not quite. Guess I could get the deep socket, the deep socket, and grab it now, but it's way up there, man. I don't think I left it down there. Did I? No. It's way up there. That's crazy. I can use this now. While I'm sitting here, I should probably shoot those other bolts with Go Juice. That'll help. Alright. Let's see if I can get this other now. No, it's kind of awkward. It's loosening. Coming away from it. Look at that. See it shift? It is off of there. Whew. It's gonna be one of them cantankerous bolts, I can tell. That's kind of rude. Okay. That helps a lot. Come on. Almost. Ain't more. Arm being stiff there. It is. 35. It's out. Part 1 is complete. And that thing looks tiny. Can you guys see that? Look at that. It's itty bitty. I think we'll get the 9-inch out so we can compare. Check out the difference. Itty bitty little tube. Massive tube. Okay. Yep. I think that's gonna do just fine. Cool. Well, it is another day working on GP the Jeep, and as you can see, it's kind of hanging in the air right now. I mean, literally hanging in the air. It's on jack stands. The Dana 35 has been removed. And now I got to focus on part 2. That means I've got to modify the springs a little bit, get those set up and ready for the new axle. The issue here is the centering pin is too small for the purchase for the new axle, newish axle. Actually, it's an older axle if you want to be technical, but anyway, so let's get to that, shall we? BRB? Yeah, BRB. Alright, let me see. I need to get this thing back up here. Hold it in place. I'm working with here. Yeah. So this, I don't know if you can see that, is the new centering pin. That has to go there. The reason it has to go in is because that fits with the new purchase, which will go there, basically. Not on that, but I'm taking that off. Now there's a problem. This centering pin was actually too short when I modified these to work. So I put a little spot of weld at the bottom. I kind of have doubts about it coming loose because, you know, weld. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that. But the first thing, I have to clamp this. When I do take that off, these springs are going to want to fall apart. We don't want to do that. That's not a desirable idea. I don't know how well this is going to go. That's clamped. Better take off my Casey Liddell hat before I hurt it. It's all messed up. I need vice grips. That's what I need. Ah. So I call this part 2 swap prep. I may have to take this leaf completely off and turn it in order to get to it. If I do, I'll take it over to the bench or something. I don't know. I guess I can do it right here. Alright, so first, clamp that in place. I think probably clamped it against the other clamp would work better, but I don't know if it's going to hold it. We may have to cut this off. Yeah, if you can see, this is the old leaf springs. That's new leaf springs. Probably can't tell the difference from there, but trust me, it's significant. Right here is where I did a little dollop of weld. which I'm going to try to grind off before I do anything else. And clamp this together. Looks like these are a little off. I might have to do some adjustment. Probably got that way from wheeling. Isn't that weird? I never wheel. What are you talking about? So let's get grinder first. Hi, Marvin. I'm watering my garden right now. Looks like it's pretty well flooded. I should probably turn it off. It's better to water at night or evening, but I hadn't done it in a couple of days. Let it flood a little more. All right, first, let me see if I can get this. Ooh, I got a flat disc on there. That's never going to do. Let me change that out. Let's try this. Cut through. Well, it's cut all right. Let me get another piece of it. So the nut is off. There is no nut. There it is. I got it. You know, a little bit of violence, but I got it. And the springs didn't go flying. It's good. Now, gotta see if I do need to do this, and I do. See, that won't fit in there right, so I have drill bits for that. Put the wrong way on this thing. There we go. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to have to do this to the other side too, because I welded them both. And I mean, you saw how well it held. And I have taken this Jeep over some trails that I'm not really rated for, and they held up all right. You know, it's a testament. Let me go get some juice. Go. A little bit of cutting oil. All right. And here we go. Wish me luck. If I can do this in one shot, it'd be great. Oh, maybe I should drill instead of. There we go. My original plan was to go ahead and disassemble it and do each leaf separately. But I decided to try this. Maybe save a step. I don't know. Maybe make it harder on myself. Which is probably what's going to happen, but that's all right. stable. How can you see it in there? You see it okay? Yeah, kind of. I will make an adjustment like so. See what happens. Wish me luck. That's going to take a while. Too bad. It's biting down. I don't know if I like that drill bit though. Get some others. And if you're wondering, these are 29/64 because that's a 7/16 bolt, and I want it just slightly bigger. Let's try this guy. See how he does. Oops, wrong way. Only tightens one way apparently. It's weird. Come on. Grab a hold. There you go. I don't know how much of this you're going to actually see, or if I'll just kind of crop it, edit, you know, so it looks like I did it in one shot or something. I don't know. That's a note to self. Let's try this drill bit. See if it likes it better. Oh, that one's cutting way better. Just cleaning up the threads a little bit. Still not exactly right. Okay. Little love tap. All you need. Just like that. This goes right on there. Test fitting. That's correct. Oh, I should probably show you the close-up of that. Let me pull you off the stand here for a minute. Okay, so what we're talking about is, okay, so you got your center bolt, right? In there correctly. This is the perch. So this would be the tube of the axle assembly right there. And it would sit basically right there. And see how that sits in there? It's all nice and happy. It's good and snug. Now there is a little bit of a gap there that I guess that's not too bad. I'm a little worried about, but when these compress, that's going to flatten out just a little bit. So it should be fine. Actually, I have the old ones real quick. I think I have them over here. Well, sorry about the rolling around here, but okay, sorry. So that's the ones that actually came off of the Ford. They were on the top, and I guess I could probably use those. And see, that's actually the wrong diameter anyway, but it will sit kind of like that. I think it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. What are you talking about? There you go. Perfect fit. Good and snug. And it'll bolt down. And basically all I need to do now is bolt this together, snug it up, release the clamps, reinstall it in the Jeep, and Bob's your uncle. And I'll do the other side as well, but you've seen me do this one. There's no sense in showing you the next one. So I'll get to the next phase of it, which is actually putting the tube in the Jeep and starting the fabrication process of assembly and all that. So, BRB. Now it's time for the test fit. And notice I put the springs back on. They're bolted on there where they're supposed to go. I will put the housing in there, set it on the perches, and then I will go ahead and install the axle shafts and everything like it's supposed to go, but without the center section. And you're asking yourself, why, Ron? I'm so glad you asked. Center section is really heavy for me. I'm an old guy. So I'm going to approximate the angle without the center section. I can get pretty close. What you do is you measure up 3 inches from the bottom bolt and you'll approximate the center of where the pinion is. You take that and you shoot it straight at where the double cardan is, and that's your angle. When I have that, then I tack these in, pull the axle shafts and tires and everything back out. I'll have just the housing again. I can pull it out easy enough, fully weld everything on like it's supposed to be, and then a final assembly. It's not that hard, but you know, when you're alone, it's kind of the way it has to be. Don't really want that on there yet. Basically, get that out of the way for now. Set it in there. It's really bad asphalt that's here. It's terrible, and it's covered with a veneer of dirt. Ugh. All right, let me get on the other side now. Got to sit it on there, and then I'll put the perches on. I just was setting them in there for, you know, checking it out. But the important thing is it has to be sitting on its own weight. Not only its own weight, but I've got a whole buttload of tools back there that gives it basically its final ride height. Now, of course, it doesn't account for the heavy center section, but it'll be close enough. Put the perch on there, lay that on, turn that about where it's supposed to go. And that's where we begin. That's where it's supposed to sit, right there. Now I got to get all the clamps and everything, so let me go do that. This is actually the fun part, basically. Let's see, yeah, I go that way. All right, so basically the plates go down there, bolts go down there, up there. Everything bolts together all nice like it's supposed to, right? And we can pretend, right? Okay. That one. just barely snug these on. So that they at least simulate the final assembly. Oh, these are the wrong washers. That's okay. We'll put the final washers on later. Okay, so we are at the point. You notice I decided to use new hardware. I was going to use the old hardware, but I changed my mind. We are ready for the test fit. See how it all goes in there. Notice it's just the tube. And I will go ahead and snug these down a little bit better. Go ahead and basically temporarily install the axle shafts. And all that. I'm just going to use the stock plate for it. And then put the tires on it, jack it up, put the tires on it, take it off the jack stands, and then start going from there. Be right back. BRB. Okay, back on the passenger side. Snug these up a little better. Kind of guesstimate where that's going to point. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to measure this right here before I go any further. These springs flange a 6 7/16 that way. Oh, down the other side. And exactly 7 inches this way. So that way with it. We'll get a BFH. Actual hammer right here. Like that. Better. Probably need to loosen this a little more. That's the other side. Tightened up the other side too much. Let's see. We're at 6 3/4. We're at 6 9/16. A little too far, I think. Looks like 11/16. Okay, perfect. Now we're ready for the axles. And don't freak out. We already talked about this. It's all right. This is only temporary. I'm going to bang them in there and everything. I am going to put these on here. Missing one T-bolt on each side, and there's a reason for that. Don't freak out. These are going to come back out though. Test fitting with the 35. I know that center will fit.
That's funny.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so I'm underneath it. What of it? Ha! Let me show you what I've got going on here. Let me flip you around. So there it is. It's on its own weight. Sitting there, bolted on. Okay, now we've got an idea where the shocks are going to mount, and I haven't done that one thing. I'm going to cut the mounts from the Dana 35 and mount those on here. Okay, so that's cool. Now I've got to figure out my angle there. And basically, it's going to come from... Alright, it's funny. I'm doing that with my hand because I don't have my little phone mount here. But basically, what we're doing is using a framing square. We come up like that, and we point it. I can't even see what I'm doing. At the pinion, something like that. And then when I get that figured out, then I basically, and that's about right. I think I may have estimated it pretty good. Anyway, I'll verify that. And then I will grab my little flux core welder and tack everything together. And then I will start welding, and then the last step is reassembly. And that's reassembly of all the stuff, all the brake stuff and all of that. So, yeah, that's coming. So, BRB. Alright, Dana 35. Make yourself useful. You know, I can't say too much bad things about this axle. I have taken it over a lot of terrain and it did me good. Fire there. Let's see what I need. BFH. I think that's enough. Get off of there. Not quite. Need more precision. I mean, they're tougher than you think you are. You think they are. You think they are. I don't know what I'm saying. There, got that one off. Yeah, so basically, this will sit right there, angled forward slightly, and tacked in. In fact, I can probably go right there, I imagine. But as you can see, it's not a perfect fit, and I will cut those little ears off, and then it should be just about perfect. Very cool. I'll go do that. So I lied. I didn't get my flux core. I got a little arc welder instead. This works better for me. Alright, so basically I'm just eyeballing it. Probably right about there is good. roughly. Got that all on there. I don't know what this is going to do to my camera, but, you know, here we go. Yeah. Tack a little up there. Woo. And that's it, it's tacked, basically. And so the rest of it is more of the same. Tacking everything in place and then pulling stuff apart. Don't think I really need to pull the whole thing apart at this point, but basically I need to put some tabs for the brake lines and stuff too, but I don't see any point in you seeing that. It's not a big deal. It's just these little tabs that go there, bleep, like that, and then you'll see them when I do the brake stuff. How about that? All right, so BRB. Well, fun fact, turns out a motorcycle lift can kind of double as a transmission jack, or in this case, 4.9-inch jack. Center section. Damn thing's heavy as hell. Had a heck of a time getting it over here. That's the only drawback, really. Yeah, the real challenge. Everything that happened before was easy compared to this. Let's see if I can get it done. Let's find out. Kind of like that, maybe. Oh, I see. That thing's actually on there a little bit, isn't it? It might be. Getting the carrier, getting the actual center section in there. I get part of it like that. I should be able to just basically. There it is. Persistence, man. Persistence. Whew. Anyway. Looks like I figured that out perfect. Yep. That's going to line up exactly right. Nice. Well, I did something right anyways. Alright, now I need to bang that back in. Where's my bitch? Got the bastard in there. Now I gotta go get the copper washers and nuts. Some BRB or whatever. And thanks to Vivor for this sucker. Couldn't have done it without you. Well, this is me in the process of putting brakes on. It's just your basic quick performance disc brake conversion, and I'll post a little bit more of it. It's really not a big deal. You just put the plates on, put the disc on, put the caliper on, and connect it all up. It's no big deal. BRB. Well, that's kind of basically it. I still have to get the emergency brake cable into place, but that's essentially it. At least to set in place a little better. But yeah, I got the shock on, little tab for brake fluid and stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna do the same to the other side and so forth. So I went ahead and fabbed up the brake lines. I'll show you a little bit from a different angle. So this is the driver's side. So basically it comes off the bottom of the caliper, goes up and around to the little doohickey, and then to the other side. So pretty basic. I still need to work on these. I think I might get different e-cables because these things are being a pain in my butt. So anyway, I need to reassemble, tighten everything down, and start letting some brake fluid in there. So I'll get to that and BRB. Well, good, bad, or indifferent, it's done. I got the brakes in there. They're a little spongy still. I'm gonna do a little bit more bleeding, but they work pretty good. Just a little bit of sponge right at the beginning there, but it's not bad. Let me give you a once over real quick. Of course, it's sitting on a block there because oh look, there's the Dana 35. Yeah, it's going out to the ranch. Will be turned into just a drag axle for Chris's trash trailer, where this axle came from. There it is. It's not pretty. I think it is, actually. It's got brakes in it. It's all together. Disc brakes in the back. Pretty cool. Pretty happy with it. It all came together mostly as planned. And actually that stance is pretty nice with 35s, but I still think I'm going to go with 33s, but I'm sure nobody cares. I don't know why I'm shooting the front, but in any case, the subject of this long video and the series of videos of me rescuing or harvesting a Ford 9-inch and swapping it into the Jeep is at last done. So this was a pain in the ass to have to do it on this. It's technically pavement, but as you can see, it's got that veneer of dirt on it. I also did some of the work up there in my yard, but I did it, and I did it by myself. If you have a project that you don't think maybe you can do it, well, I'm turning 63 this year, and I'm not of the best health, and I did that all by myself. You can do it, folks. You got a cool project you want to do, and you don't think you can, there are ways. So, thank you guys for watching so much. Let's see what I get into next time. See you later.